In the previous episode I belt sanded a small frame. The sanding order I used in Y completed sanding all the base cabinet face frames. In this episode we'll start working on the cabinet carcasses. First thing I need to do is cut some side material. It's going to be 11 1/4 inches wide, and the length doesn't matter at this point in time. This is one of the few times I actually wear gloves.
When handling some plywood, especially along the edges, look how the edges just tore up my gloves.
I went ahead and penciled in where I'm going to attach my sides as well as the dado depth for my tops and bottoms. The dado depth will be about 1/4 inch and the side inset will be roughly 1/8 inch on both sides of the frame here. This is a 30-inch cabinet, so with the current measurements, this is how long my bottom has to be right here from that line over here to this line. That distance is basically the width of the face frame minus 1 1/4 inches, and that will account for my tops and bottoms with 1/4 inch dado into the sides and 1/8 inset from the side on the face frame. Top for this 30-inch wide cabinet, as you can see, it aligns up with my marks that I have set, actually doing really well. It's for 1/4 inch dado. This board is 28 3/4 inches long, and on this side it lines up as well. That's exactly how I want it. I cut the top and bottom for this same cabinet, so all I need to do is do the dados and glue it all together. I'll do all the dados at once, just like I'm going to do all the cutting of the tops and bottoms at the same time too. A little bit different. This is what you're seeing as the bottom rail. This is going to be flush mounted over here on this side for the side, so it's going to be, there won't be the 1/8 inset, so we got to take that into account when we're making the bottom. This side over here is still going to have the 1/8 inset because this is going to butt up against another cabinet, whereas this one will actually be a finished edge over here and be seen, so we want it nice and flush over here. So to get this dimension, basically take the width of the frame minus my 1.25 inches, and then I need to add 1/8 inch for that left inset over here that we're not going to take off, and that gives me, for this one, 29 5/8. So for reference, I went ahead and clamped some scrap plywood on the side here after I cut my top and bottom, and you can see that this is flush here with the face frame, this side is, and then this is basically got the 1/4 inch dado there, the other side 1/4 inch dado there, and then right here we've got that 1/8 inch setback on this side for the face frame and the side. The reason why I set back the edges like this is because when you're butting up another cabinet here, you don't want, if there's any imperfections with the wall or anything like that, generally you don't want these to come in contact with each other because they can cause a face frame not to be nice and flat against each other. What I do is I do a little bit of an inset on the cabinets that don't have exposed sides. That way basically the face frames and the face frames only to bang into each other, and then you're able to clamp them together, screw them together, or whatever you need to do. This cabinet here and its other side right here is what's called a blind corner cabinet. It's 42 inches high because that's the job that I'm building on, and it's 42 inches wide. This right here is where the other cabinet will come off of this way 90 degrees and make this still open, but so you can access it from this cabinet or from interior to that cabinet. This one poses its own challenges because I still need a side right here on this side for the adjustable shelving, and then the other cabinet that comes off has to mate with this piece right here, with this style, and the same with this style. So, or the way I've designed it is the face frame on the other cabinet will mate right at this edge, and the back side will be flush here, and the other one will mate with this one, and it will be the side here will butt right into this. It poses its own tricks and challenges for both the bottom and top, because the bottom on this side, or the side has to be flush set to this one. So we've got the whole flush set going on here, and then over here on this side, where it's going up against the wall, we're going to have a little bit of an inset, so the side is actually going to be flush with this right here. So it poses its own challenges. We'll get this bottom and top measured out and figure out how to do that here in a second. What I mean by this blind corner cabinet, I went ahead and clamped some scrap wood up against it here. So right here you can see there's an offset of about 1/4 inch, and that's because it's going into the corner. Now what I'll also do is over here is I will actually 45 this off, so there's a corner inside the wall. But what I said was this side here fits flush. I might actually set this back another 1/8 of an inch or so, just because that seems to be my tolerances on, like, I'm going to set this up or 1/8 of an inch from the bottom board. I may set this back 1/8 of an inch also. But what happens is, where I went ahead and like clamped up a piece of scrap wood right here to represent the face frame of the other cabinet, so it's flush right here, which basically the outside then becomes 0 on the tape, and then over here it becomes 12 inches, which is the depth of the cabinet with the face frame. From here you can basically reach in like that. I went ahead and my scraps here have the 1/4 inch mark for where the dado would be. And then over here I have the same thing where the 1/4 inch would be right here also. So basically I need to measure between these two lines, which actually shouldn't be that difficult to figure out. I went ahead and offset this edge back here, the side panel, 1/8 of an inch on both sides, so that I basically have a little bit of an 1/8 inch reveal right here and an 1/8 inch reveal here. Because when I do cut this back corner off at a 45 for the wall, it'll fit right in there nice and snug, so I have a little extra playroom. Plus it'll make the interior of the cabinet with that 1/8 inch look a little more uniform, especially since when I get down here at the bottom, I'm going to have that 1/8 inch lip right here on the bottoms of my rails as well. For reference, I used a cheater. I marked the line right there where the 1/4 inch would be, and then I have the end of this, basically this really thin strip of scrap on the line on the other side. It really comes out to 41 inches. So then you just measure that strip of wood. It acts as a good cheater instead of trying to figure out exactly where it is on the other side and where it is here to get a precise line, or doing complex math. It basically just allows me to mark the lines and then measure it out on this cheater board. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.